Good morning, gang. Happy Saturday morning. It's starting to get cold, and all of you guys that are in the upper Midwest, up in New England, getting ready for even more snow, I guess. But the brutal cold is starting to come down here too. So we're supposed to be down in the single digits here this coming week. It's going to be fun. So I got a question. Are we, the public, not just us, assisting in our own demise, assisting in moving to this World Economic Forum globalist socialist way of life? You know, there was a story that came out yesterday that nearly half of all young adults are living at home with mom and dad because it's too expensive to live on my own. Yet they're still going to Starbucks and they're still driving their e-cars and all this sort of stuff. You know, they're still buying all those, I don't want to use the term luxury goods, but more expensive things, you know, rather than brew a cup of coffee in the kitchen, you know, I've got to go to Starbucks so I can spend $6 on one. But you know, housing is too expensive, right? This is their excuse all the time. And I'll agree. And I said at the beginning of the year, you know, go back to January 1st. I said, if you want to buy a house now, okay? Because it's going to get worse this year. Sure enough, interest rates went through the roof, housing prices went up, building material went up, and now people can't afford a house, right? So what has that done? That has made construction companies, and I have information from friends that this is exactly what's going on. People can't afford to buy the houses, so the building companies, the home builders, aren't building houses. They're now building apartment complexes. Okay? Remember the funnel us all into a sardine can. Remember the 15-minute cities things I've talked about. Got to build affordable housing. It's not a house anymore, it's affordable apartments. Until it comes time to the government will own the apartment, the world government, not the US or the Canadian or whatever. The world government will own those apartments and you'll rent your apartment from the world. And so we're assisting them in doing this by people moving to apartments, but also by the builders building these apartments. Remember, collectively, everybody involved in the World Economic Forum has exactly zero skills. Okay, they're a bunch of blowhards who, for the most part, inherited money. Okay, they've never done anything in their life, and they make their money by telling everybody else how bad they are while they fly around on their jets that were ultimately paid for by mom and dad's or grandma and grandpa's hard work. I mean, you know, don't anybody try to tell me that John Kerry's done anything in his life, okay? You know, coward in Vietnam, and then he married into a family, you know, Heinz Ketchup family that had billions of dollars. John Kerry hasn't exactly done something. Please tell me what Al Gore has done in his life to better society. Greta Thunberg, come on, really? All right, you know, she can't even finish high school. But are we assisting? Okay, you know, so now the people are moving into these apartments voluntarily because they got to go somewhere to live, of course. And rather than give up their Starbucks or give up their Tesla or whatever it is, they'll go into a sardine can somewhere. You know, California right now is trying to figure out how to stop the outflow of people. Why? You can't survive in California if you're middle class. There is no middle class in California. California is exactly what the World Economic Forum wants. The uber rich and the people reliant on the government. Okay, the poor. You know, you can't afford a house in California. You know, I mean, maybe in Eastern California, it's cheaper. But I mean, forget trying to buy a house around LA or San Diego or San Francisco for sure or whatever. I mean, I go back 20 years ago and remember my ex-sister-in-law telling me she could have bought a little 1960s Rambler, this is 20 years ago, for $600,000. Okay. You know, little shotgun type, maybe 1,200 square foot house, 600 grand, right? Sure. Okay. How do you want that? 10s or 20s? But then you get into food, okay? And we talk about the expense of food, and we just pay for it. We don't have any choice. Food prices are going up. No, they're making everything so prohibitively expensive that, eventually you'll eat the bugs because the bugs are cheaper. I mean, think about this. You've all been in the store and you go, oh, gee, I'd really like to have a steak. And you look at the price of steak and you go, nope, not doing that. Having pork chops. I'd really like to have chicken breasts. You look at the price and go, nope, I'm having chicken thighs. You look at the price of chicken thighs, you go, crap, okay, what? I've done it, you've done it, everybody. It's like, okay, you're trying to reduce your cost into what's affordable. And so we get into the situation where let's keep making food more expensive. Let's keep making food more expensive. Eventually, if the bugs are cheap, they'll eat the bugs. Hey, here's, Insect Land's Bug Burger. Go for it. And eventually, like, I need to eat something. I'm going to eat this. This is what they're trying. Gas prices. We've talked, everybody's talked about this. Why are gas prices going up? And I get a kick out of everybody that says, oh, look, gas prices are coming down. And I said this too. And I said, this is temporary. Watch. I was in town on Wednesday. Gas prices here were $2.69. I was in town yesterday. Same gas station, $2.99, up 30 cents in 2 days. Okay. No, that little drop in gas prices was not a sign of things to come. That was an outlier. Okay. Gas prices are going back up. But why are gas prices up? Well, if people can't afford gas, they'll buy an electric car. The problem that the powers that be don't understand is we're not as stupid as they think we are. People go, oh, you want to raise taxes? What is it, 14% state income tax or 13.8 or something in California? You want to raise taxes? Great. You know what? I'm moving to Texas. I'm moving to Florida. I'm moving to Tennessee, where there's no state taxes. Okay. Now you lost not only the taxes, but you lost my business and the people I employ and everything like that too. We're going to raise the price of meat. Great. You know what? I'll start raising my own. Okay. We're going to raise the price of fuel. Okay. You know what? I'll figure out a way around that one too. People aren't as stupid as the people who have no talent, no skills, no knowledge other than running a mouth because they've got mommy and daddy's money. Think. Okay. Please tell me what Klaus Schwab has ever accomplished in his life other than running his mouth for the last 30 years with the World Economic Forum. You can't. He hasn't accomplished anything. Okay. Simple stuff like this. I mean, but this is where we're headed. And are we, the public, encouraging this? The people keep going to Starbucks and they keep buying their expensive cars and expensive toys and everything like that they want, rather than doing what needs to be done, learning the skills that they need to survive in this strange new world, if you will. There's going to be plenty of people out there that agree with the World Economic Forum. Hey, this will be great. We'll all get together and sing Kumbaya. And, I love living right next to my neighbors. It's so convenient that I just have to walk downstairs to get my coffee. Whatever, okay? There's still something called a free spirit. And for the most part, that still exists in the United States with a lot of people. The current younger generation is going to be the death of this country. Okay. Fortunately, most of us won't be around to see them utterly destroy it. Okay. By the time you get the AOCs and Ilhan Omars and their whole generation into positions of serious power, most of us will be gone. Okay. And then they can turn this country into the toilet they want it to be. They'll be fine, but everybody else will be doomed. But in that case for us, that's our kids, our grandkids that are going to have to deal with all of that. We know what the potential is for the young generation to fight back. They're too concerned with their safe spaces and crayons and playing with puppies. You know, God forbid something challenge them or they have to actually stand up and take a stand on something. Unless, of course, it's something stupid. We're fighting for 15. Dumbass. Pro-abortion. Dumbass. But eventually, a lot of them will come to realization. But, this is what we're going through. And this is what we're prepping for. Because as the rest of the world starts going lockstep, we'll just follow right along into, you want to move us into a bunch of apartments? Great, we'll do that. You want to price us out of buying food and eat bugs? We'll do that. You want to price us out of buying gasoline and force us into electric cars? We'll do that. It's up to you and me. The relatively vocal minority that nobody listens to save this country. They talk about depopulation all the time. I was driving on the highway yesterday. It was 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday. Knoxville's a town of 400,000 people or something like that. It's not huge. And the highway was packed with people. And I'm like, depopulation would be a good thing. We can start with every one of these globalist liberals, get rid of them, and then we can go back to normal. Pinball out.